Hello everybody. Welcome to the first of four, Mindful Monday meeting. The reason why I decided to this series of mindfulness sharing or meeting is because for those of you who know me, you probably know that in the last little while, I actually went through a little bit of a stressful time that I had to sort of take some time out. And as a result, I've actually learned quite a fair number of things that have been able to help me. Apart from me, believing that God has been really healing me through people praying for me, supporting me in different parts of the areas that I needed to grow. But also at the same time, one thing that I find has been really helpful is using a technique which is called mindful practice. In fact, a few years ago when I was going through a bit of traumatic time, I actually enlisted a mindful coach that helped me to learn about what it means to live mindfully. So basically, his name is John Shearer, and so today I'm going to be the first out of the four mindful series to talk about a specific technique that I've learned from that time. And so how many of you here have use mindfulness as a way to help you reduce stress, or as a practice that you run and do in your daily lives? How many of you, if you have, maybe you can just either pop it into the Zoom chat, or you can just unmute and share. Anyone? No? Okay, that's all right. Well, so basically, mindfulness, for those of you who are not aware, is basically a technique that helps us to be present in this moment. Because a lot of times, we can be right here, right now, but our mind can be in the past when we're regretting something, or is in the future when we're worrying about something. There is a saying that I've learned, and that is, anxiety is when you are worrying about your future, whether it's financial future, whether it's relationship, or for a lot of us, during this COVID pandemic, maybe, even whether we do vaccination or not, that's the kind of things that cause us to be anxious. So that is the future. And the kind of things that is in the past, which is regretting, like for me, why was it that I was sort of in a bit of a trauma this last little while was I've had 5 different friends that passed away in the earlier months of this year, from 3 of them from cancer, 1 of them from brain aneurysm, and 1 from COVID. Because of that, I felt like I was actually in living in the past, because I was reminded of how my dad died. So long story short, that caused me to be depressed, you see. So that was the past. So for us to be releasing stress amongst many things. In fact, if any of you is interested, I've done a webinar with a nurse together, which is called Managing Stress, where in there we've actually shared quite a fair bit about different topics and different methods to reduce stress, including using supplementation, breathing exercises, etc. So feel free to contact me to get that recording. But today, I just mainly want to focus on one technique, and that is what I call mindful stop. So for those of you who are not aware of mindfulness, just again, is actually focusing on the present moment with curiosity, without any kind of judgment, and just be right here, right now. So while I'm actually sharing with all of you, I'm focusing on you and not thinking about the future and the past. So that is what I need, because the benefit of mindfulness is that it helps control, the response of emotions, which is something that I find I can get into quite easily, because I'm quite an emotional person. However, since I started learning a bit about, mindful practice, it helps me to have a bit of control over my, emotions. And in fact, a number of past studies have found that the more awareness and, mindful practice that we do, then we have better way to control our emotions. So obviously, like all of us, I'm still a work in progress, and hence, I'm doing this not to be like, someone to teach you about this, but to be just sharing, something that I personally have found helpful. So yeah, so any one of you have any comments at all about your experiences, please feel free to share with us. And you can pop it into the group chat. So in the next 10 minutes or so, I would love to invite you to come onto this journey with me to experience this specific technique, which I personally find very helpful to reduce stress, like worry and regret and anxiety and depression. So when you think about mindful stop, which is S-T-O-P, each of the word stop is an acronym. So it's actually a very useful practices or techniques that you can easily incorporate into your busy daily routine, and which I learned from the mindfulness coach, John Shearer, and he's actually written a book called Mindful Action. And in fact, I've written a book called Juggling Health and Wealth. In one of the chapters, I've actually listed some of his techniques there as well. So let's go through each of those letters. The first one, when you think about a stop, so I'll just type it into the group chat, S-T-O-P. S stands for slow down. Now, this is an area, if you know me, you know that I'm a very quick person. So for me to slow down, I need to be reminding myself all the time. So if you are able and comfortable, help me by connecting with me and do this mindful practice together. So when it comes to slowing down, first, we slow down our breathing. So just breathe in a bit of relaxation and breathe out any stress that you may have experienced throughout the day. So breathe in relaxation, breathe out stress. So as you slow down your breathing, you then have yourself in the present moment. That's the first technique. The second is you can actually press your feet, if you're sitting down, into the floor. So try that. Press your feet into the floor. As you do that, you are actually grounding yourself into the present moment as well. And also you can slowly, because we're talking about slowing down, you can stretch your arms like what I do here. Stretch your arms. So when you're stretching, or your shoulder. Thank you, Grace. I see that you're doing it with me. Everyone else is not showing their camera. I have Grace here, so that's okay. So as you're doing that, you are slowing yourself down. And the final technique of slowing down is to press your fingertip together like so. When you do that, every time when you try to slow down, you can press your fingertip, or you can put your feet into the floor, or you do breathing exercise of breathing in, relaxation, and breathing out stress. So do you feel you are a little bit more relaxed now after slowing down? We do. Yeah, that's something that I find the first step of Mindful Stop, the acronym S, is very helpful, because once you slow down, then you can be grounded more in the present moment. So the second word, which is T, S-T, is to take note. I mean, obviously, I also encourage you, as you're listening to what I'm saying, to take note in a book as well, like in a notebook if you like. So I'll just type it in the group chat so then I can share this with people. Hello, Veggie. Now, to take note, what that means is with a sense of curiosity, take note of your thoughts. What are you thinking right now? Truth be told, I'm thinking about tomorrow when I need to do a presentation, and that's not where I should be. Like we've talked about, don't think about the past, don't think about the future. Mindfulness means to be in the present moment. So as you are noticing your thoughts, gently let that thoughts go, just like a sushi train in a restaurant. You know how when you actually go to a restaurant, when you see the sushi move, you let it go, let it go. You know, frozen, let it go, let it go. So then you can be right here. And also notice your feelings. Tell yourself, am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling depressed, anxious, sad? Just name the feelings that you have. Once you name it, it can be positive, like happy, I'm excited, I'm joyful, or it can be negative emotions like I mentioned, you know, sadness, anger, whatever it is. Again, when you notice them, let it go so that you can be calm and just be flexible. So notice these two things, right? Your thoughts and feelings. Then the third thing that you take notice is using your 5 senses. What can you hear? This is using your 5 senses here. For me, even when I'm sharing with you, my husband is on the other side typing, so I can hear his keyboard clicking. What about you? Anyone else hearing anything in the background? For you guys, maybe you can hear the voice of Kitty Chang. So that's hearing. The second thing of the 5 senses is touch. So what can you touch? Like you may be touching a notebook or a pen if you're writing down notes. So as you touch it, right, you are actually in your present moment. The third thing is taste. Is there anything that's lingering around your mouth? Maybe you've just had, you know, a cup of peppermint tea and you've got some peppermint taste, or you might have just had dinner not that long ago. You might still have some lingering food or whatever it is. So that's the third sense. The fourth sense is smell. What can you smell in your surrounding? You might have, you know, some yummy food smell or whatever it is. Oh, I just had my hair washed. I have some shampoo smell in my hair. So this is, you know, the things that we can do to understand, to take note, to be in the present moment. Okay, so the 5 senses is hear, touch, taste, smell, and then your sense. How are you sensing what you're experiencing? Okay. And also notice where you are. A lot of us would be at home right now. And so as you notice, maybe you can see something in front of you, around you. So you just pay attention to those. Okay, so that is the second word of mindful stop T, which stands for take note. The third word, which is O, stands for open up. Okay, so I'll just type it here. Open up. So what are we talking about when we're talking about opening up? Well, what it is to open up and make room for your thoughts and feelings. As I mentioned before, when you take notice of what you're feeling and how you are, you know, thinking, and then allow them to freely be given away by, you know, just letting it go. And when you're opening up to how you feel, how you think, and be in the present moment, then you are certainly a lot more at ease. Okay, so the fourth word in stop is P. Okay, what does P stand for? P stands for pursue values. Okay, so basically it is to reconnect with your values. So you might have different values for a lot of us, you know. For me personally, my value is health, spiritual life, my relationship with God, with people, you know, and my loved ones, family, whatever it is. Maybe if you like, you can pop it into your group chat if you want to share what your values are, because that will actually help you then to be more engaged into reconnecting right here with your values. Because the more you know what your values are, which will then, you know, connect you with your purpose, then it will actually guide you to do what you need to do. So that is, in a very short summary, the Mindful Stop stands for S-T-O-P. So whenever you feel like, you know, you are stressed or you are having negative thoughts, first take note of that. Then, slow down. Third thing is to open up. The fourth thing is to pursue values. Because as you are able to use this technique, you can actually do it in many different areas. So let's go through the different mindful exercises right now using this technique. The first is mindful breathing. This can be done pretty much, you know, anywhere at any time. So while you are on this Zoom with me, all you have to do is really be still. Again, as we mentioned, do your breathing and focusing on that breath. Breathe in relaxation and breathe out any stress that you have. And then one cycle should probably last approximately 6 seconds. So breathe in and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with your nose. And then breathe out using your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you do that, you're actually slowing down and letting your breath flow effortlessly in and out of your body. And when you let go of your thoughts and feelings for a minute and let yourself be still. Be still. For those of you, you know, who believe in a high power or God, be still and know that God is with you. Or just be still. If you're not a believer, it doesn't matter. You can actually feel your breath coming in through your nose, going out through your mouth. Be still. Then you will find that your stress will be a lot less. How many of you experienced that already? I have, certainly. When I always do breathing exercise, it helps. So why not try that? You know, in the next day or two, or even in the future, when you catch yourself, you know, feeling stressed, feeling pressured, feeling worried, feeling depressed, whatever it is, do this mindful breathing. So that's the first exercise I want to encourage you to participate. The second thing is what we call mindful awareness. In fact, I have a whole chapter in my book, Juggling Health and Wealth, called Oxygen Mask. Oxygen Mask is basically about our spiritual health. Putting on your oxygen mask first before assisting others is what we hear about on the plane all the time. Do you remember when the time we went on a plane? I mean, now that we're in COVID, we haven't been flying for a little while, have we? But when you used to fly, do you remember, you know, we always hear the importance of oxygen mask. So that is designed basically to cultivate an awareness, knowing that you need to have your own self-awareness and self-support first, so that you're blessed to be a blessing. Otherwise, you will be too stressed. And think of something that happens every day more than once, say, for example, something perhaps that you take for granted, like eating. Do you take eating for granted? I do. Like, even though I'm a TLS health coach, when I'm in a rush, I would just like eat very quickly and I take it for granted. I don't even enjoy the food because like I'm in a rush, say, for example. And so take it in with all your senses. So next time when you have your, say, breakfast in the morning tomorrow, take it in, mindfully aware that you are so blessed to have such nutritious meal for you. Let's say for those of you who are I know, in fact, here quite a lot of you have been through the transition lifestyle system, weight management solution, are my students or my coach clients. When you drink your nutrition shake, for example, what you do, instead of just like that really quickly, just taste it. Use your 5 senses. Taste it, smell it, look at it. Wow, it's a nice color, whether it's a chocolate one or, you know, that now global, we even have cookie and cream. And so that you are not on autopilot. How many of you know what autopilot means? Autopilot means you go through the motion and do things without even knowing that you're doing those things. I'm guilty of that a lot, especially with so many of us that are on social media all the time. I could be talking to you guys, and then I know that there is a WhatsApp coming in asking me question, and then I might have like a messenger message on Facebook. You know, social media is such that it actually causes us to be not mindfully aware, and that is something I think is important for us to cultivate, the purposeful awareness of what we are doing and the blessings it brings to our life. That is something I'm still very much a work in progress, even though I know this. Like, I study psychology at university, I study nutrition, I must study a lot of these commodities. Even I paid quite a lot of money, in fact, a few years ago, to have a coach to teach me all these things. Yet, you know, Bruce Lee says, knowing without doing is not knowing. What that means is we have a lot of knowledge, but if we don't implement it, then we will not get the result. So that's the kind of thing that I personally, as I'm sharing with you, I'm reminding myself as well, because mindful awareness is something we all need to be aware and conscious. So last but not least, I actually have 6 different exercises that are in the programs. But if you like, I can send you, you know, some information later. But right now, because I'm wanting to make sure that we finish by 9 o'clock here or 7 o'clock over there in Asia, I will just do one more exercise with you, okay? And that is mindfulness in action. Now, a lot of us, when we think about mindfulness, we actually think about being in a very still and meditative, reflective mode. In fact, what my coach taught me is that you can actually be mindful in action when we're taking action. What that means is do one task at a time. One task at a time. Instead of multitasking, just do one task at a time. If you are checking emails, just turn other things off, other browser or other phone distraction off, and just check emails. Check one email and then respond, delete or file it or follow up. The same thing with, say, for example, email as well as WhatsApp messages, whatever it is. And notice how you feel as you go, as again, using the 5 senses. Let's say when I read an email, I might be feeling happy because, let's say, you know, a client of mine told me that they've been able to benefit a lot from what I've shared with them. But on the other hand, I might be receiving a very sad email or like a message on WhatsApp or Messenger telling me that one of my close friends passed away. In fact, today I was looking back at a reminder of a Facebook message from last year during our company's international convention. Our CEO JL talked about one of my main mentors in this business, Rick Hannon's death. How many of you know Rick Hannon or heard of Rick Hannon? He's actually the one that introduced all of us Asians through Vicky Lee. But anyway, long story short, why I mentioned him is because he is the one that actually teaches a lot about mindful living through the business. And majority of us here are our business partners, so you would understand we need to be mindful in action. As we take a lot of action in different areas of our lives, you know, whether being in our relationship, in our work, in our day-to-day living, if we don't take action mindfully, then we'll be here and there and everywhere. And if you know me well, you know I'm very guilty of that. So I need to be always practicing that. And also, as you're doing those things, think about how you feel and think, but also the sensations that come up in your body. And then notice if you feel anything like anxious, nervous, or angry, then let go, let God, pray about it, seek God, or if you don't believe in God, then at least do some breathing exercise and just know that you can move on if you are able to be mindful. So that's pretty much what I want to share. And obviously, you can do a lot more. And I know that quite a number of you here already have my book. You can go to chapter 5 of my book, and I've written down quite a lot of these exercises. But one thing that I have to say again is that this kind of thing, just like anything else, needs to be practiced, continuously to be effective. So that's basically all I want to share. So let me just